We have been a political basket case now since 2016. 7 prime ministers in a decade. I mean, we're just a laughingstock. You've got Nigel Farage, I think, is dead in the water. I think this £5 million bung he took from this crypto tycoon in Thailand.
He described it as a personal gift.
I described it as a bung. And he took this money. He still can't get his story straight about why. Originally, it was for personal security. Then it was a reward for Brexit. Now he says it's just a gift and he can spend it on Ferraris, like all men of the people would say. I think you can see how rattled he is by the questions he's getting. They're not going to go away. Okay. I think he will be found guilty by the Parliament investigation.
We've no idea what the commission is.
I think it's going to happen.
Sure, fair enough. Okay. I want to come back to the election point.
My point is this. So his main opponent, who he's just beaten in this by-election, Reform, I think are in real trouble. I think the leader's going to have to go. I also think Reform and Restore, as we've already seen, are eating each other alive. I think with the Conservatives, Kemi Badenoch is becoming much more popular very quickly, but the party is not. So right now, if you're Andy Burnham, I would say, snap election. You're a fresh pair of eyes, running with a fresh vision. Tell us what the vision is. Let the public vote, and then you might get a 5-year mandate to deliver.
Piers Morgan has raised plenty of eyebrows after making some strong comments about Nigel Farage, claiming that he believes Farage is now politically finished. But that was not the only surprising moment. Well-known American psychologist and commentator Jordan Peterson also weighed in, saying, "I don't know what is going on in the UK." Piers Morgan went on to say, "We have become a political basket case since 2016. 7 prime ministers in a decade." To be fair, many people would agree that Britain has experienced a period of significant political instability over the last several years. However, Morgan then turned his attention to Nigel Farage, saying, "I think Nigel Farage is dead in the water." He also referred to the reported £5 million payment Farage received from a crypto entrepreneur based in Thailand, arguing that Farage has not given a consistent explanation for why he accepted the money. According to Morgan, the explanation has changed several times. He claimed it was first described as funding for personal security, then as a reward connected to Brexit, and more recently as a personal gift that Farage could spend however he wished. Morgan argued that these changing explanations have created political difficulties for Reform UK. In his view, the controversy has put the party under increasing pressure, and he even suggested that its leadership could eventually face serious questions.
Reform are on the programme next week, so they can answer some of the things that you just...
Is Farage going to come on? Because he keeps bottling it, doesn't it?
I have no idea who it will be.
Well, he keeps saying no to this show, doesn't he?
Sharon White. If there was a general election, how would that affect the country?
Well, I look at this from a business perspective. Yes. So at the moment, you're looking at the situation and the turbulence and volatility, and you're deciding, do you create more jobs? Do you invest in another factory? Do you invest in new technology? So all the uncertainty is actually incredibly negative and incredibly damaging, actually, for the very things we want, which is an improvement in everybody's living standards. So my own view, actually, from simply a kind of very practical point of view, is that the sooner we get through this transition, the better. The sooner businesses up and down the country know what we're dealing with in terms of the policy and personalities, the better. So personally, I'm not in favour of the 3, 4, 6 months that will take for general election. And then I do think we have to come back for the opportunity to have a much more open and honest conversation as a country.
About what specifically? Who's being dishonest about what?
Well, it's about the choices. We'll come on to this a little bit in terms of defence. So we have got the highest debt, the highest sort of overdraft, if you like, across any of the developed countries. So when we talk about...
And the highest borrowing costs in the G7.
And the highest borrowing costs. So the amount that we are paying simply to service our debt is twice as much that we're spending on defence and about as much as we're spending on education. And so a country which decides, do we spend less on, our older people, to give more to our younger people? Do we spend more on transport and housing so we can invest for the future?
There are 6.5 million people in this country.
But that's a choice we have to.
Now, I personally believe Labour may be facing even greater challenges than Reform, considering everything that has been happening within the party recently. At the same time, the Conservatives appear to be gaining more attention than they were previously, particularly because of the points Kimi Badenoch has been making during Prime Minister's questions. Many of her supporters believe she has done a strong job of challenging the government, questioning its record, and putting Keir Starmer under pressure. Her performances have attracted significant attention and have become a major talking point in recent political debates. What is particularly interesting is the timing of Piers Morgan's latest comments. He has chosen to speak out about the state of UK politics now, even though not long ago he found himself under heavy criticism during his exchange with Tucker Carlson, especially after their discussion about knife crime and gun crime. That timing has led some people to question why Morgan has decided to re-enter the debate now, and whether his comments are likely to influence the wider political conversation.
Guns is equal, right? Some is counterproductive.
You know the thing about guns? I'll just say this for the audience who will all be looking at me thinking I'm the 2A gun grabber. The reality is it's a complete cultural difference. In my country, everybody used to have a gun. Everybody used to in the old days. Now, very few people have guns. There are incredibly tight restrictions. And the consequence of that is we have almost zero gun crime.
Was your country, is London safe now?
No, I'm about to come to that. The problem we have is with knives, right? So I'm not saying for a moment you get rid of all the guns, nobody gets killed. Of course they do. We have a knife crime problem epidemic in our country.
No, you have a people problem. You have the kind of people who stab each other, and you didn't used to have that.
Well, we did.
No, you didn't.
We did.
I mean, it's measurable. How many people got stabbed in London in 1970 or shot compared to now?
Sure, but
it's a massive increase because the attitudes of the people, the actions of the people are totally different. You've got different people and different behaviors. And you can't admit that because I'm not sure why.
No, because actually there are lots of white.
He seemed to present it as a positive development. He argued that there was a time when many people in England owned firearms, whereas today very few do. In his view, the result has been that Britain experiences very low levels of gun crime. However, Tucker Carlson challenged that point directly by asking, "Is London safe now?" The response was that, despite low levels of gun crime, the country is now dealing with a serious problem involving knife crime. Carlson then replied, "No, you've got a people problem. That's what you have. You've got a people problem." That comment became one of the most talked about moments of the exchange. Whether people agree with Carlson or not, many viewers felt he raised a point that deserved discussion. Some believe he highlighted issues that are often avoided in mainstream political debates, while others disagree with his conclusion. Either way, the exchange attracted a great deal of attention. What is also interesting is that commentators from outside the UK are increasingly weighing in on British politics. Some argue that they are noticing issues they believe are not being discussed openly enough. At the same time, debates in the UK often focus on stories such as Nigel Farage's reported £5 million gift, while broader questions about crime, public safety, and other major concerns continue to generate strong public discussion. This has led some critics to ask why Piers Morgan, with such a large platform, spends more time discussing certain controversies than examining other issues that many people believe deserve greater attention. They argue that topics such as public safety and crime should receive the same level of scrutiny. Jordan Peterson also shared his perspective, saying, "I don't know if people in the UK understand how sad it is for us in Canada and the United States to watch what you're doing to yourselves." His comments added another international voice to the ongoing debate about the direction of British politics and public policy.
I don't know if you guys in the UK understand how sad it is for us in Canada and in the United States to watch what you're doing to yourself. I mean, the UK is a great country. When I go there, I go to Oxford, I go to Cambridge, to these remarkable places in London, see your unbelievable deep history, understand how much the world owes the UK in terms of, say, the establishment of common law and decent government everywhere, including places like India. We owe the UK such an immense debt. And to watch you guys spiral yourselves into the ground for this idiot, weak political correctness that's gone so far that you can allow your working class women to be raped en masse sadistically and say nothing about it and gaslight people who are telling the truth. It's so sickening. It's so demoralizing. It's almost unspeakable. We all pray, hope and pray here in Canada and the US that you get your act together and grow some spine again and Put your damn country back together and stand up to these bloody psychopathic bullies and the woke green mob, because it would be a dreadful shame to lose.
It is certainly interesting that commentators from America, and even from other parts of the world, are increasingly speaking about events in the UK. They are sharing their views on what they believe is happening and raising questions that they feel deserve more attention. Many people argue that there should be more open discussion about the issues facing the country and a greater willingness to examine them in detail. Some critics believe that well-known broadcasters such as Piers Morgan, along with other journalists, have enough experience and influence to explore these topics more deeply. They argue that too much attention is often given to political controversies, while other important issues receive far less coverage than they deserve. At the same time, commentators from outside Britain have been offering their own perspectives. They have questioned certain developments in the UK and asked why some stories are not receiving wider attention. Their view is that these issues should be discussed more openly, with greater public debate and scrutiny. Whether people agree with those opinions or not, it is clear that international voices are becoming more involved in conversations about British politics. They are highlighting topics they believe matter and asking why they are not being discussed more widely across the media. So, what do you think about all of this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Piers Morgan's remarks about Nigel Farage, the wider debate around knife crime and gun crime, and the comments from both Tucker Carlson and Jordan Peterson have all added new perspectives to the discussion about the United Kingdom. I would love to hear your opinion, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments.